This is what happens when Sam the Snowman moonlights as a Star Wars narrator. Very funny. Hey guys, and welcome back to another film review by The Clumsy Jedi. Keeping with the theme of doing Star Wars spin-offs, today I'm going to be reviewing the Ewok Adventure, Caravan of Courage. It originally aired in the year 1984, was directed by John Cordy, and starred Warwick Davis, Aubrey Miller, Eric Walker, Fionnuala Flanagan, and Guy Boyd. The summary of this story is a family accidentally crash lands on Endor. There are two kids, they wander off, the parents go to look for them, and then the parents get captured by this giant, hairy, ugly as sin creature called a Gorax, and then the children go off to find them. This one is basically panned by critics these days. They say it's like, oh my gosh, it's too syrupy, it's too sweet, it's terrible. Granted, it is definitely not the best thing to have the Star Wars label on it, even though it doesn't technically have the Star Wars label. It's just a spin-off about Ewoks. But it's not the worst thing to come out of Star Wars spin-offs. That crown belongs to the infamous piece of junk that I already reviewed. What I liked most about Caravan of Courage was the little girl, Sindel. Oh my gosh, she's adorable, and she was only 4, so how can you go after a 4-year-old for not being a very good actress? I think she did pretty good considering her age. And of course, I can't say anything bad about the costumes. They looked pretty good. I think they used some of the Ewok costumes from Return of the Jedi. And the scenery is very, very pretty. They filmed it actually outside Lucas Valley Road up in Marin County. So yeah, it's really pretty. What I disliked most about it was, like I said, the acting. It's bad. It's embarrassingly bad on the part of the parents, but I think most of the blame lies with the awful script. The script is one of the worst I've ever heard. You think George Lucas wrote bad dialogue? This is twice as bad as the most wooden dialogue in Episode 2. Trust me. And the fact that Ewoks started to learn English, or in the Star Wars universe, basic, that doesn't fly with me, especially seeing as how this was supposed to be set before Episode 6. No, in my headcanon it's set after Episode 6. That way they knew the humans weren't something to be eaten. Would I call it family friendly? Yeah, most definitely. Especially for ages 6 and under. This is a good first introduction to the universe of Star Wars. I think little kids would like it very much. Okay, now for the scoring of Caravan of Courage. The story, it's not that bad, so it gets a 7.5 out of 10. And the elements of, like, you know, courage and family and that kind of thing, those are good things. The acting, it's not good. To put it mildly. Especially the mother and father. That's some of the worst acting I've ever seen. And the older kid, Mace, he just came off as annoying. So the acting only gets a 6 out of 10. The Ewoks were all better actors than the humans, which is pretty sad. The script was one of the most abysmal things I've ever heard. It was just as bad as the Star Wars Holiday Special. That's how bad the script was. So it gets a 4.5 out of 10. Ugh. The humor, it had a few smiles in there. For little kids, there'd probably some giggle moments, so the humor gets a 7 out of 10. The music, it wasn't that bad. I think conducted or composed by Peter Bernstein. It wasn't bad at all. Definitely had the moments of whimsy and fantasy in there that it was supposed to have, so I'd give the music an 8 out of 10. Cinematography, a touch above average, so it gets a 7.5 out of 10, giving the Ewok Adventure, Caravan of Courage, a Clumsy Jedi final score of 6.7 out of 10. Stay tuned, guys, because tomorrow I'm going to be reviewing the other Ewok Adventure, Battle for Endor, in the lead up to Rogue One. So until then, this is the Clumsy Jedi signing off. Bye, guys! A piece of advice for anyone who wants to call the Ewoks walking hairbrushes. Remember what they did to the stormtroopers? Yeah. Ow!